And I know you mentioned not being a statistic as a motivator, but what else was motivating you to expand your career and learn so much?
Definitely my son. I definitely have to credit my son as my motivator. He's the reason that I feel like I am as involved in advocacy, especially when it comes to education, because, my son has IEP.
Mm.
So I made sure that he had the same. And let me just say this also, I had an IEP. And I always say to people, I went from an IEP to an EDD. So it is possible, so it is not a stigma. Please do not think that people are judging you. You'd be surprised at how many people are walking around with things that are diagnosed and undiagnosed, but they refuse to get help because of the stigma surrounding it. Please get yourself help, whatever that may mean. So with my son, I made sure that he had the same footing as I did, if not better. So just to rewind a little bit. So when my son was in pre-K, where I'm at, they do pre-K for 2 years. So the second year, when I saw his work, I said, this looks familiar. And my mom, she was a bit of a hoarder. It's her first grandchild. So I looked in her closet, and of course, his old work was there. And I said, wait a minute. If this is the same work that they're giving him, how is he learning? So if you know 1 + 1 is 2, but you don't know the mechanics behind it, how is that going to help him in terms of math, in terms of reading, in terms of counting, all because we all know literacy is very important and it can affect you in other domains, especially as you get older. So when I went to the school, I explained to them, and my son he's always been tall for his age. Even now, he's 6'5", he's only 18. So I said to them, I said, you know what, is there anything that we can do? And they said, oh, well, okay, maybe we could try this, we could try that. He took a test, he missed it by 1 point. And I even observed him because I wasn't a helicopter parent, but I wanted to see what was going on. And even when I looked through the little, mirror they have in the door, I saw that he's just sitting there, he's swinging his feet, he was bored. They tried to say, oh, does he have ADHD? Does he have this? Does he have that? No, he's bored. My mom and I, we had him at home counting and reading and doing all these different things. So now when he comes to this setting, I'm thinking I'm doing a good thing. I'm putting him here. He's going to be around other kids. He's the only child, put him around other kids and he's going to learn. And it actually was a step down. He was bored. So again, he took the test. He missed it by 1 point. And when I spoke to the principal, I said, come on, he missed it by 1 point. Clearly that shows you that he can do it. He's capable of doing it. She had no clue who gave him the test, when he took the test, and that was unacceptable to me. So I remember calling my mom and I said, you know what, not to alarm you, but I'm going to take him out of this school. And I put him in private school ever since. But I know that that's not every parent's situation. And it made me feel like, okay, well, how many other parents, single parent or not, how many parents are in this situation where they're going by what the school tells them, and yet their child is just getting passed along, they're not getting the services that they need, they're not being stimulated. And then I took it a step further. How many young Black boys are in this situation? So I made sure, like I said, I pride myself on helping those who look like me. Even if you don't look like me, you need help. Okay, let me give you the resources. As they say, too much is given, much is required. So I didn't go to school all these years, gain all of this knowledge, have this experience just to keep it to myself. That's not what God intended. So that's why I make sure I continue to do these podcasts and workshops and webinars and different things like that, and getting involved with the NAACP because I wanted people to know, no, you can enhance your social capital. You can change your situation. You can do better. And even for those who are first gen, it may seem like a lot is on you, and it is. But it's also because you're the first in your family to start that business or to go to college or to break the mold, whatever it may be. And I always say break generational patterns. I don't like to say curses because I'm very conscious of the words that I use.
Very, very empowering. Very empowering. And I know one of the things that you're very passionate about is about self-worth. And this aligns very clearly like how you saw a great opportunity with your own son when the stimulation wasn't there to really captivate his level of intelligence. And also everyone has a different categories of intelligence that you delve in. Like, for example, if memorization is your thing,